Hello, welcome back to this House of Walls. My name is Ashley, and on this channel I love to share all things homeschooling and books and anything else that I feel like sharing. Today, we have a different setup here. I am in my room about to pick up some books. For the month of January, I had already been wanting to film a read it or unhaul it. I went through my books in December, and there's a lot of books on my shelves that are unread. I will link that video down below if you want to go and check that out. And while I do like having a really big library of books that I can go and pick and choose from, I would like to narrow down certain aspects of it. I think I've gotten really good at getting books that I don't know a whole lot about, that then they get onto my shelves and I'm not super interested in picking them up to read them. And I think I've done a lot of learning and exploration of what my reading tastes are. And so I want to lean into that more. But that means I want to go through some of my books. So because of all of this, it worked out great that my January TBR gave me a prompt of read my lowest rated Goodreads book. So I picked out 3. Now, do I have books going right now? I do. I actually have 2 audiobooks going, and one of them I have to have done in 3 days for a book club. That one, I should be able to get it done. I'm doing the audio of it because it's nonfiction. I'll have some thoughts about that later. But I only have 2 to 2.5 hours left of listening to that. So I thought, you know what? Now is a great time, instead of reading another physical book that I really, really want to read, let's go through and see about a read it or unhaul it. So my lowest rated book on Goodreads is Devil House by John Darnielle. This is rated 3.23. And I have not heard many good things about it. I think a lot of people went into it wanting it to be a thriller horror, but it's more of a mystery. And so this, you are following an author named Gage Chandler, who he had, one good book and a movie adaptation, and then has kind of been floundering. But he is given a chance to go stay at a house where a bunch of kids had died in the 80s due to some satanic rituals. It does say that it's a book that blurs the line between fact and fiction. So, we'll see. I'm going to go into it trying to be open. I think this is the one I'm going to start with first, and I'm going to read the first 2 chapters of it, and I think that's 23 pages. I do also have The Kingdom of Sweets. It's a retelling of The Nutcracker, and I've heard really mixed things about it, so we'll see if I am able to get to this. I also have The Wilder Woman. I know even less about this one, but it's been on my shelves for over a year and not great reviews. So, all that to say, I am going to start with Devil House first and give it a try. So I'm going to go ahead and read the first 20 pages, and then I'll be back for you. It'll be 2 seconds, and give my thoughts and if I'm going to continue reading it or not. All right, I am back with a little reading update. So I read the first 2 chapters. So the first 23 pages. So far, there's a lot of setup, and I feel like the author is kind of all over the place. So far, the author is talking with his mother, who wants him to move closer to her, but he doesn't want to. It also goes into how his mother and other generations before say that they are descended from kings. So I'm not quite sure how that ties into anything. And then kind of understanding his writing process and how he researches these stories of different crimes and things like that maybe media and people have changed the stories and it's not actually what truly happened. And so that's how he writes his stories. And so his agent calls him and says, hey, there's this house where there were all these satanic rituals that happened in it and people died and it's for sale. And so he goes and sees it with the agent. Nobody has lived in the house since then. There's been a little bit of work done to it. He was only supposed to live there for 1 to 2 years, but now it's like 5 years later. That's as far as I have gotten in 20 pages. I think I'm going to keep going with it and see. I don't know that the author's writing style is my favorite. And like I said, it's kind of all over the place. So we'll see. I think I'm going to read a little bit more right now. And then I've got other stuff to do with my kids. And then I will pick it up hopefully tonight and read a little bit more of it and let you guys know how it's going. Hello everyone. All right, I owe you all an update. I know on the video I was just talking about books, but it is a handful of days later. It just got busy and I really needed to devote some time to finishing a book for one of my in real life book clubs. So I did that. Let's talk about Devil House. I am going to DNF it. I bought it, and I think a lot of other people have bought it under the same assumption that it was going to be kind of mystery thriller. And from what what I can see is that it is true crime, kind of funky telling. I'm not super into true crime. I know I'm the odd one out with that, and I am not in the mood for a funky read. So I only got like 35 pages in, but that's okay. I'm gonna DNF it. I did get it from my local used bookstore, so I'll just take it back there and get credit for it. And then let's see. I am going to put this one back on my shelf, and that is The Kingdom of Sweets. This is the Nutcracker retelling. You know, it's January, and while this is one of my lowest rated books on Goodreads, I am not in the mood for a more Christmassy retelling, so I am going to wait and pull this one back out during Christmas time. That one is going to go back on my shelf. That means there's one other lowest rated book on my Goodreads pile, and that is The Wilder Woman by Ruth Emmy Lang. I am going to start this one. I actually was able to find it on audio, and so I'm going to sit here this morning and kind of hang out a little bit and start the audio of this. I really read the synopsis on the dust jacket. So 5 years before the start of the book, a woman named Nora Wilder disappeared, and her daughters have kind of magical realism elements to them. So Zadie can see things coming, and then her daughter Finn can see like memories of people. And so they're just kind of going about life, but then Finn wakes up one day and realizes that she has found some of her mom's memories, and so they go on a mission together to try to find their mom, but it looks like they then go through a lot of struggles of their own and everything like that. So I am going to start listening to this and see how I like it. I am going to get, I don't know, let's see here. How much do I want to read? All right, so the first chapter is 20 pages, so I'm going to read the first chapter or listen to it and come back and let you guys know what I think. All right. I read the introduction and the first chapter to The Wilder Woman. I am enjoying it on audio. I realized I had a bookmark in here. So I think when this came out, I got this November 2022. I think I tried to read it, but I was not in the mindset to read it. So quickly knew, nope, it just needs to sit and wait for a little bit. I'm enjoying the audio of it though. So you are introduced to Nora, who is the mom. She loves music and has a bunch of cassette tapes. Then after she disappears, her oldest daughter, Zadie, you meet her, and she is a young adult and having to move out of her boyfriend's apartment, and she's pregnant, but she is going to go meet up with her sister who is graduating from high school, and then they're going to go on a trip together. That's kind of the main plot. You kind of get a glimpse into both of their kind of magical abilities and how they first came into those abilities. And I am interested to see where this one goes, so I am going to keep listening to it on audio. So I'm going to go listen to a little bit more of it and come back to give you guys an update. All right, we are going to do another little update. I am in bed and about to pick this up on audiobook. I finished another audio earlier this evening, and so now I have lots of time to devote to this. Earlier, I did get, let's see, page 60, chapter 6. And so I am really liking it. You get both viewpoints of each of the daughters, and you are also getting little kickbacks from before the mother went missing. I am enjoying the magical realism element. That is something that I have discovered this past year that I really like in books, where there's just a little bit of magical elements in a book. And so I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to pick it up and see how much I can get read before bedtime, and then keep chugging along. But I'm really glad that so far, I'm only 60 pages in. I'm really glad that I am doing this and picking up a book that I would not have picked up anytime soon and started it. So, on that note, I'm going to go listen to the book. All right, it is bedtime, but wanted to give you an update. So I have made it to chapter 10. There we are. So page 98. I'm liking it. The two daughters are now on a mission to try to find where their mom disappeared to, using their kind of magical abilities. So they are on a road trip and have come to campgrounds that they have stayed at before with their mom, and are hoping to make some connections with where their mom could possibly be. I'm liking it. It's, I don't think, the most, gripping book. It's still good. So I made some awesome progress today with it, and I'm going to continue it tomorrow. There's only, let's see how many pages. There's 326 pages. So shouldn't take me that much longer to read the rest of it. And other than that, I will see you all tomorrow with another reading update. All right, I am back for one more really quick little update. So while I have this audio going, I don't have a physical book going. So I was going to sit here really quickly before going to bed and start a new physical book. So I had picked The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. And then I was reading the inside of it, and it's about a mother that goes missing as well. So I think that these two books are going to be way too close in storyline to read at the same time. I do definitely want to read this one this month. It is the Megan's Book Club pick over on Instagram, and apparently it's a storyline that I like. So I am going to have to go pick a different physical book to read, but that's okay. But I thought that was just funny that I went to pick it up and went, oh wait, it's about a missing mother as well. So I can only do one of those at a time, so I'm going to keep going with The Wilder Woman. All right, it's the next day. I am in very yellow light right now. I am about to start folding a bunch of laundry. I have not been able to pick up the audiobook at all today and read more of it. So that's what I'm going to do right now while I fold a mountain of laundry. And so that will be a great listening time. And then, yeah, we'll see how far I get. All right, I am finally back with an update. My nails are a mess right now. It took me a little bit longer to finish The Wilder Woman. We went on vacation. It was a lot of fun. Maybe I'll put some pictures up here. But that meant not a lot of reading got done. So we got back from vacation and I quickly finished this. I think I stand by the rating that it has on Goodreads. It was an interesting story. I think that there were just some kind of plot points in it that didn't quite make sense or needed to just be written a little bit different so it would fit better into the book. I don't know that the realistic magic system in the book was the best. I feel like, I don't know, once they really start like looking, like everybody has this kind of special ability of one kind or another. And the girls, they go on this quest to find their mother 5 years after she's gone missing. And somehow there's all these clues. So I just feel like while the story itself was pretty good, there were some definite plot points to it that maybe just needed some tweaking or maybe another like edit. But other than that, I'm glad that I read it. It was a good little challenge to do, to read my lowest rated books from Goodreads. It definitely got a book off my shelf that doesn't need to be there. This one, honestly, after my monthly wrap up, probably won't be making it back onto my shelf. And that's great because that's my goal for this year, is to kind of go through and kind of weed out some books that don't necessarily need to be taking up shelf space. Anyways, so there is that. So thanks for coming along on this journey. This is definitely a step outside of my comfort zone to be filming vlog reading videos. That I like talking about books for sure, but actually to talk about them while I am reading them is something totally different. But it was a lot of fun. So if you like these types of videos or anything else that I post on this channel, make sure to subscribe and like down below, and I will be back for more soon.